for years trying to hide from my trauma. I never got away and now I'm accustomed to drama. Diving to the bottom of a bottle, searching for love. Never found it there, but found a way to replace it with drugs. Now I'm in too deep and I can't swim, and I swear these demons are not my friends. They're drowning me in my sins. So tell me where this ends, and where do you begin? 'Cause Lord, I'm lost again. So take me as I am. All my life I've been battling with my demons day and night, and I can't deny my soul is tired. So fill me with your fire until I feel it burning bright, and all of the darkness turns to light. I've been fishing, searching for something different, trying to find my way, but notice something's been missing. I've been lacking the drive, I've been lacking ambition. So Lord, if you're the key, then go ahead and turn the ignition. 'Cause I'm in too deep and I can't swim, and I swear these demons are not my friends. I've been fishing, searching for something different, trying to find my way, but notice something's been missing. I've been lacking the drive, I've been lacking ambition. So Lord, if you're the key, then go ahead and turn the ignition.
Count down. I got 20 minutes, and while we do that, we're going to listen to the news.
Was really collapsing. She is getting the Democratic constituency. This is awfully close no matter who wins. Whoever is president is going to have to address all of America. But I think she will
Okay,
have a good
I'm
race.
going to be waiting on this
But it may just fall into
countdown. I got 20 minutes.
numbers when he
that,
won, but the numbers where he was when she took over were not those numbers.
Disaster.
Yeah.
We have a call to make. The Fox News decision desk can now project that former President Trump will win the state of Iowa. Trump is performing well in rural areas, which helped deliver victories to former President Trump in 2016 and 2020. This
there's
obviously
a
comes in the
delay.
wake of a lot of focus on a poll that shall not be
Hold on.
named.
No, let's do it.
Oh, name it? The Des Moines Register poll. I think
She had him like +6 or something like that.
Well, she also had him winning the caucus and Ted Cruz beat him. And
so she has a good reputation, but this one appears to be a blip on her screen because clearly Iowa is in the Trump column tonight.
Harold, thoughts about what's developing?
So you think about what everyone is saying. This blue wall, there are 44 electoral votes there in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. If she loses Virginia, Nevada is 6. That gives her 50. If she wins Virginia, that gives her 57. She has a very
I think it's because I had the other window open. My bad.
Here. We talked about it, I think, in the last segment, we talked a little bit about the policy here. Laura did. And if she looks back, I think 3 things, and you said one of them.
19 minutes.
Should you have chosen Shapiro? If where we're going is
I
where
could
we
do
look
this
like
2
we're
more
gonna go.
times.
Should you have countered on the transgender
Well,
issue more quickly and more effectively? And then the border and the economy.
I can
should she
wait a
distance
little bit
herself from
here.
Biden? Now, look, we're still a little early
And,
in the evening. I agree with Mark. It's still a
nope,
little
I can't even
one way,
do
but
the
if you're sitting there tonight, you want to be on that campaign
daily
tonight,
quest.
if you want to win the
'cause I done
campaign. So
did it
she's got to run the tables here over the next hour or two, over the next day or so, if we're hearing correctly about Wisconsin. But it does not look as promising as it did a few hours ago.
Let's head back to Bill real quick. Bill, can we dip into Virginia, the Commonwealth?
Yeah. Say it again, Brett. Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead. Do what you're going to do. We'll get to Virginia.
Okay, gotcha.
Eventually.
I'll give you a little run up the Atlantic coast.
I
here.
might.
Okay, this is Georgia. Too soon to call. You ask yourself.
I
you know,
might just
why can't
walk
you
down
call
to the
it?
corner
There's still some
store,
vote out there. The question is, where is the
get a
vote
drink,
and what's going to come in?
come
Trump's at
back,
3.2 points
and just
statewide.
leave this running.
So you come in here to the greater Atlanta area, and this is Fulton. Our Fox insights tell us, okay, this is different. This just changed from a moment ago, all right? At this point in the night, with 82% of the vote reporting, in Fulton County, the largest of 159, Trump's up 0.6 points.
While we're listening to this, I can get my shoes on.
All right, I'll clear that. Let's come back out statewide. This is Cobb County. We talked about that earlier. Okay, at this point in the night, our Fox Insights tell us that Harris is up 1.3 points better than where Biden was.
We're going to be screwed if she gets this.
Ago. We'll clear that. We'll also go to Douglas 2.
You think
here,
your life
okay?
is bad now, just wait until she takes over.
This is all greater Atlanta, a lot of population throughout the area. At this point,
It's my
90%
opinion.
reporting here in Douglas County, Harris is doing 2.9 points better than what Biden did 4 years ago. So there's still a vote out there, too. And I mentioned Chatham County about 2 hours ago. That's Savannah. They counted slow 4 years ago. They're counting slow yet again. But you get a lot of Democratic votes out of Chatham down here on the Atlantic coast. A lot of folks live there, too, 5 out of 159. So we'll see how that shakes out. Okay, let's run up the coast here and let you know what we're seeing here in North Carolina. Then I'll hit Virginia. Then I'll hit Pennsylvania. All right. Trump up 2.5 in North Carolina. Why can't we call it? I was looking at Mecklenburg County with Charlotte. Okay, so they've had a lot of votes come in since the last time I checked. There was a lot of outstanding votes. So you have to ask yourself, where are the votes, right? If they're in the most populated places, you can't make a call. But now you're getting a lot more from Charlotte. This is Wake County, Raleigh. It's #1. Still about 20% of the vote out there, okay? Comfortable lead for Harris. We expected that, but let me just check 2020 and go ahead and use the slide again. Okay, so she's performing 0.5 point better than Joe Biden finished from 4 years ago. So we'll keep a track of that. You went to Virginia. I'm getting there, guys. Hang on 1 second here. Just got to move the meter, and we'll see what's happening here in the Commonwealth.
All right, so while you're checking that, Charlie Hurt's from Virginia.
Yeah. Tight squeeze.
So what are you looking at, Charlie?
Tight squeeze, Virginia.
What are you looking at?
So it's kind of interesting, actually, that this is so close, especially if you looked at the early numbers across the state. It was fairly extraordinary with the early vote, both early mail-in vote and then early in-person vote. All of the big D-plus counties in the state were significantly down from 4 years ago, including the big counties like Fairfax, Richmond, and then all of the R-plus counties were significantly higher this time than they were 4 years ago. And so if you had just looked at those early numbers and then look at this, it's actually not that surprising that it's this close, even though Virginia is, for all intents and purposes, a blue state now and has been since George W. Bush, or since Obama anyway. But it is, I think that Governor Youngkin, who said, watch out, it's going to be tight here, is probably looking at those same numbers and realizes that this thing might actually be the surprise of the night.
Yeah, a lot of people drifted to Northern Virginia, suburbanites. There's not a great Trump vote in that near D.C., counties, Kellyanne, and that's what we're looking at here is where that vote is outstanding and whether it changes the dynamic.
No question. And Glenn Youngkin has been a great partner to Donald Trump this whole time on the campaign trail. He told me personally when I asked him, do you think it's really competitive a couple months ago, he said, I think you're going to force Biden-Harris, now Harris, to spend some time and money there. And that's happened. But it was ground zero for the parents' rights movement, the school stuff in 2021. I wanted to say something. Kamala Harris's team was smart and strategic to go for the 3 states in the blue wall. Since they've gone Democrat from 1992 to 2020, 28 straight years with the exception of 2016, they went for Trump. They've always voted as a bloc, but they also ran out of choices. I would have thought she'd do better in those more racially diverse Sunbelt states like Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and even North Carolina. She's in the very white states trying to become president of the United States. Here's the problem I see for the Harris and the Democrats right now.
Oh, God, this
Demography is
lady.
not destiny. That's what I think of this electorate. We think we're only going to get women by talking about abortion. We're going to get Hispanics
Lord.
if we talk about immigration. That's how Trump is getting them. We're going to get African Americans if we talk about this. Whose big idea was it to over-prosecute Donald Trump? with all these cases. You think a lot of black men in this country didn't stand up and say, I think the system has been against me. I think that's unfair, to say nothing of the fact that they want economic upward mobility like everyone else. They're school choice voters. They think that people coming over the border are taking their jobs. And you got Barack Obama telling them, you're not right. Stop telling us who we are, what we think, how to eat, how to vote. This is the election where people are turning on its head. Last point, young voters. I think Harris is going to underperform Joe Biden nationwide on young voters. There too. Let's get rid of the old guy and put in the 60-year-old woman and then call Donald Trump old. That's how we'll get young people. It's not how you get young people. You get young people if they think they can afford a house before they're 52 under your policies. You get young people if they think they want to be president of their own.
Hey, my question is where's my 25,000 for my house?
So this whole demography thing that we should
I won't
do
get it.
according to our gender, our race, our age. This is the election where I think that hit a wall.
Can ask
I
a quick
won't get
question
that
just so Mark can,
25,000.
Kelly, if things hold right now where we are, does she only have to win the blue wall, just for the sake of the audience, to win this? So if everything happens, she wins Arizona, he wins Nevada, he wins Georgia, North
12
Carolina.
minutes.
If she wins
Well,
Michigan,
let me in
Pennsylvania,
early?
Wisconsin,
Nope.
does she win?
It's not going to let me in.
Okay. So the blue wall remains.
Not early
what we have-
anyways.
what we're
Yes,
focused
one
on.
I have to
path.
wait till it's like
He's got a few paths, but you got to get one of
Is
them.
that
maybe
true?
10 minutes in.
Pretty
No,
much, yeah.
not even
was it
10.
answered
It'll
the
probably be
270
5
with the
minutes.
three?
I can jump
with
in
the
and
three
set
plus,
up.
plus Nebraska too.
Hopefully
I think
we
it's
can
too
get
early to start
10
filling this
people
thing in
in.
here.
It'll go a
I
lot
don't wanna
faster.
start just yet, but I don't know. We're kind of warming up the fryer, or whatever you say when you get
But
ready
just
to-
show how it happens. Just show the three.
Yeah, for her, it would be
she go
Nebraska
Virginia?
2. Well, we got to go a long way, so just it's going to take me a while to get there. Okay, so she would have to win all the usual states here. It's just too many to fill in, right?
Oh, gotcha.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
that's good.
Oh my gosh, what am I missing? Holy cow! Okay, Maine,
Nebraska, too.
Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so,
Got it. So she-
that's why I didn't want to do it just yet, because we got to go a ways. But
I know.
maybe like another half hour, an hour or so, we'll fill in a few more. If you got time, I'll take you to Arizona, unless you got something else to do.
Love to go
Let me
there.
go ahead and reset this, because there's some movement here. There's some movement here in the American Southwest. This is Arizona. First time we're looking at it on the night.
Oh,
And
that's kind of bad.
Trump is just taking
That's
a
kinda
tenth of a
bad.
point lead. Kamala Harris had the edge here for really the past hour. This is Maricopa.
This is
This
bad.
is Phoenix. This is where you get 60% of the vote statewide is in Maricopa County, all right? She has an edge at 2.2 percentage points. Raw vote 563,000. I'm going to bring out the slide again, okay, and go back to 2020. And this is Joe Biden in Arizona. So she's up about half a point, not quite, all right? But Donald Trump's performing a little better right now at this point, but there's still just about half of the vote out, and too soon to call there in Arizona. Let me come back to modern day, 2024, and see if this has changed. It has not. This raw vote's 2,200. So we'll watch that. Just wanted to take a sneak peek at that. You guys mentioned Iowa, the state that shall not be named, or the poll that shall not be named. This is nuts. 14.5.
Look at
points.
that.
So,
Wow.
Somebody's not having a good night.
guys, there's a ton of votes still out there, too. This thing could go higher. Anyway, back to you
It's
guys.
a little
okay?
outside the margin of error. Okay.
All right, let's go over to Sandra and get a look, because we've been talking about young voters, and you have some new stuff from our Fox News voter analysis,
Sure.
Sandra.
I'll build off of what Kellyanne just said about the Hispanic voters in just a second. I'll dive into age
All right,
first
let's-
for you, Martha. And
I'm gonna
it is pretty
put the
incredible
game
some of
sound
data
on.
that we're seeing in our Fox News voter analysis. This age group 65 and over, okay, it is a dead heat. Split the vote there. But just note, Donald Trump led this group by 3 points in 2020.
And
So he
go
is in
back
fact
in,
slightly
wait that
underperforming
9 minutes.
with that group. But here is a huge story that we are seeing develop. Voters under age 30, 52% of the vote going to Harris, 44% to Trump. That's an 8-point margin that she's leading by. Biden led with this
That
group
might
by
be too
25
loud. Let's,
points. Kellyanne was just talking about this a moment ago. He led by 25 points with this age group
We'll
back in
do that.
2020.
Turn
She
the
is
music up a little
significantly
bit.
underperforming with the younger voters right now. Want to jump back in and also talk about the Hispanic vote and what we are seeing there. This also telling a
Yeah,
huge
that
story
seems a little better.
of the night. Kamala Harris getting 56% of the support there. Donald Trump 40. Okay, so she's leading by 16 points. Biden led with this group by 21. Again, she's underperforming there. I want to break that down by gender when it comes to the Hispanic vote, because this also telling a story. Hispanic women, for example. Okay, Harris is leading by 24 points with this group right now. Biden led with this group by 34 Hispanic women, underperforming
I
there.
made the window a
Comes with
little bigger.
Hispanic men. Look at this story. Harris is up by 6 points with Hispanic men. Biden led with 19 points. So there is really some interesting stories developing with the younger voters and the Hispanic vote out there. Brett and Martha, as you know, we
Why
have
is
heard
it
on the
always
ground a lot of
they
those
only show the
American
men? Show the
Hispanic
women.
voters,
Show the
They
women.
don't like what they're seeing with illegal immigration
Why
in this
ain't you
country.
showing
They've
the
been
women?
speaking about that. We are seeing that show up in our analysis.
Sandra, thank you.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
So the
Especially
women
the
doesn't matter?
Hispanic
That's
vote.
And
bullshit.
that gap, that 20-plus gap that we're seeing, we've been seeing it for a long time. We've been talking about it for a long time. It has shown up in polls that she was underperforming Biden by more than 20 points with Hispanic voters, Britt. It's a very seismic change.
Which means that if it comes down, as we now I think have agreed at this desk that it does to those 3 blue wall states being her chance of victory, are in very narrow path, that if these numbers are meaningful about how she will perform broadly speaking, and I think they're big enough now that we can say they are, her chances of pulling this off would be the biggest thing we've ever seen. I mean, amazing come from behind victory, and I think the odds on that are very long indeed.
Yeah,
Dan?
I mean,
Well, it's a significant, to say the least, point that Kellyanne was making, which is that it all stops, right? And I think that I don't even know if in 2028 we'll still be talking about the Hispanic vote, right? Because with every immigrant group that comes through, eventually you're just an American. And
All right,
care about
let
all
me
the
in.
issues that everyone else in America
Now I just
cares
gotta
about, and
stand
it's
here and
not
wait
so
for it to show
segmented.
up.
So I see a lot of those barriers breaking down. Again, I think that the Harris-Biden team has no one to blame but themselves for these numbers. It's the policies that drove these people to vote for President Trump, and he also, the Biden-Harris people pushed them into Trump's open arms. And now they'll have a chance to have a different type of president if he were to win. I know we got the blue wall to see, but the betting markets, everything is sort of going this way, and you sort of have this feeling that the Hispanic vote is no longer going to be so segmented. It's just the vote, the American vote.
and there's a traditional, not to overgeneralize about any group, but, the traditional.
Hey, somebody else
faith-based
is
in
here.
many ways,
Yay.
Hispanic family that is not responding to what Kamala Harris is talking about and focusing on.
Harold?
Gender and race, we talked about the outset, would emerge as big themes because Democrats have enjoyed great advantages with certain groups of people. The numbers didn't show up tonight.
They show
they have not.
politics may be a dead end.
Well, what it shows is that we're going to have, as a party, rethink and reformulate and reconstitute how we think about going after voters. If these votes hold up, and even if they don't, the numbers are narrowing. So you have to rethink this and consider some different strategies. Because as we sit here tonight, Democrats have to be surprised. From what we were told over the last several days about how her numbers were coming home, how people were coming home, this is a very different race.
Hold on one second.
than some
David
people
Plouffe
thought.
said yesterday that she could win all 7 battleground states,
Right.
and said that she could do it. Now, maybe if it turned, she could win 6 of 7, but he said 7 of 7.
He
Just
said
the other day.
He did. He said there was a confidence from him that, and Democrats abound, that there was. And
All right, we
even
gotta
up
hit-
to early this
Well,
evening.
all the polling said that it could go either way.
We got to hit a break real quick.
We will. A lot of votes to count still, and we are covering all of them for you. Our special coverage continues. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I don't think it's going to end. I don't think it's going to be tonight. All right. I don't think it's going to be tonight. I think it's going to be like tomorrow or something like that. Maybe I should get my own music going. Let's Let's remove that list. Go into music folder, non-copyrighted sound. I'm gonna put that over there because I'm just gonna loop a few songs. Let's fade, remove silence, 16 gap. Beats BPM. Okay. Now fade. Listening. Still commercial.
Oh no.
And
Decision
we're
Desk
back.
can project that in Maine, Vice President Harris will win the statewide vote. Trump will win an electoral vote in the rural 2nd district in the state of
this
Maine.
music
Fox
off.
News can also project that Maine Senator Angus King will win his race. He's an independent who caucuses with the Democrats. So as we look now, the Senate is ticking up. We're going to look at some interesting races in Ohio and Montana coming up.
So let's check in with Aisha Hasni at the Trump campaign headquarters in West Palm Beach, Florida, where I would imagine the mood is fairly good.
It is very good, Martha. You know, earlier this evening, a lot of folks were coming up to me and saying they're not sure if they're going to get a decision tonight. They thought it was going to take a few days, and that has completely flipped, and people are expecting there to be an answer tonight and it to be favorable for the former president. I just talked to a campaign official who tells me that over in Mar-a-Lago,
make sure I turn
where former
on
President Trump is
auto.
right now, watching the results come in, the
Turn
mood
on
there
auto.
is positive.
That way I don't have to
And
worry
I'm
about
looking to
doing
confirm
anything.
right now if the former president made some remarks to a crowd there and what exactly he said, but everyone there appears to be feeling very, very good. And just found out as well that Speaker Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, who's in Shreveport, Louisiana right now at his district, appears to be making plans to come here to be with former President Trump. Back to you.
Aisha, thank you very much. We'll keep a close eye on Trump headquarters as we continue to give you some more updates on what's going on.
There I go. Let's start it.
You know, we don't have a call for any new states at this point. We're waiting for Montana, waiting to get a look at the Sheehy race in Montana as well. And we have some new guests who have joined us on the panel that we want to get to. So let's welcome them in.
And as we get ready for the top of the hour, we'll make some new calls at 11
first, and then
o'clock.
we'll get right to you guys. Wow, time is going so fast. There we go.
It is now 11 p.m. in New York, and 4 West Coast states have just finished voting. The Fox News Decision Desk can project that Vice President Harris will win California, the Golden State, 54 electoral votes, biggest prize, more than any other state in the country.
And Fox News can also project that Harris will win Oregon, adding 8 more votes to her electoral college vote. Harris will also win Washington, another reliably Democratic northwestern state.
But the former president will win Idaho's 4 electoral votes. So as we see the race to 270, it's now 216 to 193. Race is changing quickly. I am getting some word from the Democrats who have now put out kind of a sense of the race, saying that in Pennsylvania, they say they're overperforming turnout expectations in Philadelphia and the early vote expectations in Bucks County. They go into state by state of where they
only
feel like
5 of
they're
us are
going to see
fighting
more
it, so it's
votes
going to take
in
a
these
little
states.
bit.
These are the blue wall states because that is
At least I'm
the path
second
that we're looking at. In
in
Wisconsin,
damage.
they say we know there's significant amount of vote remaining in Dane and Milwaukee counties, and we are seeing signs of strong performance in the WOW counties. We just have partial data. We don't expect complete results from Wisconsin until tomorrow morning between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. We shall see.
It's 11 o'clock.
We shall see.
So.
California Senate race, as we talked about, can project that the current Democratic
Oh,
Congressman,
Lord.
Adam Schiff, will win his race against former Major League Baseball player Steve Garvey in that Senate race. And Washington's incumbent Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell will win her 5th term. Not big surprises on that front this evening either. So here's the balance of power in the Senate: 49 for Republicans. The majority is 51. They have flipped 1 seat, 42 for the Democrats, as we wait for a number of these big Senate races to be called. Ohio, Montana, Pennsylvania, all will really dictate the future of the Senate.
And Michigan. Let's bring in our panel. Brig Hume, Dana Perino, Harold Ford Jr. They've been here for a while. Kevin O'Leary, Jessica Tarloff, and Ben Domenech. Jessica, are you surprised?
Surprised is a very generous term for how I'm feeling in this particular moment. It is in Democrats' nature to be anxious, and we are certainly at peak anxiousness. I think the conversation that you were having in the last panel about the Latino vote is really interesting. Some of these numbers are a little bit jaw-dropping, looking at, potentially 45% for Donald Trump in some states, and that is going to cause a real reckoning within the party on how we talk about, message to, and integrate, a huge part of our base typically in all of this. I would say, though, that the campaign and people that I've been speaking to have said nothing has been called. Our paths to 270 have not been blocked off, and as we continue to get more vote in, and I should add to the numbers that they messaged to you, Detroit is coming in, and Detroit had a very good day with in-person voting today, and the suburbs of Atlanta outperforming where Biden was there. One point of concern is that she's not doing as well in the rural areas as Biden did, and that's something that they're paying attention to. But I'm hearing more and more from people that I'm speaking to, blue wall. And this morning we were talking about, well, if you pick up North Carolina and Georgia, again, they're not off the map, but it is feeling like more of that laser focus on the easiest route.
Ben, welcome, first of all. Good to see you tonight. I'm sitting here thinking about the rethink that Republicans went through after Mitt Romney lost. And they did this huge analysis of what was going wrong with the Republican Party and why they weren't reaching Hispanic voters, why they couldn't reach working class voters, why they weren't bringing in more women. And it really is stunning when you think about that. That was Mitt Romney's loss. And it appears that the person who has changed that calculus dramatically is Donald Trump.
Well, they called it an autopsy at the time, and I think it's turned out to be an autopsy for a party that was dead. And I think that Donald Trump has done something incredible in resurrecting it with a new coalition that, a lot of people never thought Republicans were going to be able to reach, that they weren't going to be able to cut through a lot of these different fundamental problems that people thought were there in order to reach these different sets of the electorate. And look, I think the big question they have to ask
I rolled a 1.
how much of that is tied to Donald Trump himself, and how much of it is something that the Republican Party going forward can build on. And regardless of
what in the world happened to the
tonight and tomorrow morning, in terms of these blue wall
there
states
it
and the
is.
things that we take away from it, certainly we can take away. This is the most incredible political comeback that we've seen since 1968. It's the most incredible remaking of the Republican coalition that we've seen in a way that was really unexpected by all but a handful of people. And how they build on that, how they choose to prioritize policies going forward.
Okay, after midnight, all these are switched back so I can do them again. How long? See, I got 8 hours until I can do the next one.
The markets now have it at 92.5%.
But that is reset. These are reset. A lot of this will pop back up so I can do again.
How do you read this?
I'm going to stay on this theme for a moment and call this perhaps the greatest night the Democratic Party can ever have if they lose. And let me explain that. I was very troubled just over 100 days ago when they circumvented the democratic process and
I need to
anointed
pull this
somebody.
down.
The analogy is easy to a Super Bowl. You arrive at the Super Bowl game, and by any measure, this is the Super Bowl of global politics, the presidential race. Your quarterback, Biden, is injured. He's taken out of the game. You don't bring a quarterback in that's never, ever, ever won any game anywhere. You run a process. And they missed that opportunity. This is a chance for them to, I'm not saying they're going to lose, but I'm going to those percentages and saying they get to reboot. They get to go back to the center. They get to scratch this whole thing, and the influences of a Hmmm or a Pelosi or a movie star or an Obama deciding to anoint somebody, those guys are gone in 4 years. They won't have that kind of influence. This could be great for America because I'm an investor. I have to work with who's ever in the White House in January. But I care about policy. And when I hear policies coming
Why is
out of
it
a
upside
party that
down?
is so
What happened?
twisted against the American way of life.
What
like
happened?
Basically taxing capital gains that are unrealized. That's not America. Or price controls.
Let's
That's
go
not
again.
America. 28% tax rate takes us to the bottom quartile of competition. That's bad. We can't do that. That would hurt the country. And all I do is work with entrepreneurs that want to build businesses. There's a reason people come here under barbed wire and drown in rivers to get into America. It's the American dream. It's the only thing the president has to do is to maintain it. Those policies are against the American dream. And I have nothing against Harris. I mean, look, she did a masterful job in getting to where she is. It would be good for them to lose tonight. It would reset and reboot and get that party back to the center. It would be good for them. They may not want to hear that.
We don't.
But they may have to. You may have to deal with it. You may have to.
Kevin, I would love to win and do the reboot. We can still do those things. We bring you right into the party to help us do
We're going to take a pause right here because we have a big call to make right
We
now.
do indeed. The Fox News decision desk can now project that Republican businessman Bernie Moreno, who started his entrepreneurial career in the car company and buying auto shops in Ohio, has won and unseated incumbent Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown, who has been an Ohio institution for a lot of years. This is an important flip for Republicans. The party is edging closer to an outright Senate majority tonight, and there are still a couple of places yet to be heard from.
Right. Now think about this. Now, if the Democrats would somehow hold on to the John Tester seat, that would be a different math. But as you look at the balance of power in the U.S. Senate, is this Moreno speaking right now? Can we go in there?
Let's listen in for a couple minutes here.
Look, today starts a new wave. You know, we talked about wanting a red wave. I think what we have tonight is a red, white, and blue wave in this country. Because what we need in the United States of America is leaders in Washington, D.C. that actually put the interests of American citizens above all else. We're tired of being treated like second-class citizens in our own country. We're tired of leaders that think we're garbage, and we're tired of being treated like garbage. You know, my opponent talked a lot about helping the working man. And I will agree with him on the need to help working Americans. But the difference is talk without action is nothing. So what we're going to do, thanks to now having a Republican majority, by the way, how about that, in the United States Senate, and Chuck Schumer, if you're watching,
Well, I
thanks for the
was
help in
going to
the
walk down
primary,
there,
but
but
you're
it
fired,
started
buddy.
raining, so I guess not.
This is a new dawn of Republican leadership. With President Trump and J.D. Vance in the White House, we are going to advance an agenda that is an American agenda. An agenda that says we are pro-immigration, but not
and my music
pro-invasion.
stopped.
We're going to make certain that the people who come to this country are invited here. Like I was, like my family was, on our terms. We're going to make this country an energy-dominant nation so that my kids do not grow up in a country where we ever rely on a foreign nation for energy ever again. And we have that energy right here in Ohio. That means coal, that means natural gas, it means oil, it means nuclear. And in terms of EV mandates, they need to be gone first thing in January.
Bernie Moreno, the winner in the U.S. Senate seat in
I
Ohio.
have
This is a
that
major
looping
kickoff
for an hour.
incumbent senator and Sherrod Brown that ran ads that said he was, at least working with former President Trump.
Well, no, I think I'm just going to close it and pick up on it later after this resets. Alrighty, bye.
Leave me alone. I ain't home. Even if you see me through the window. Leave me alone. Cut up on my phone. I'm in line till the ring another tone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I ain't picking up. I'm in my pickup doing stuff that don't involve the ones who text me all these Harry Potter books. I know I got the magic, my city ashes volcanic from my hip-hop rap mechanics. That's why they claim that I'm manic. Ay, pace back and forth like a robot. The game maybe made me have no heart. Don't give a fuck about no chart. 14 golds from the mud bars, 2 double platinums, no truck start. Never ever tired, no truck marks. In this generation, I'm the showroom. Only good credit, get the press start. Tryna hop in like a short skirt. Leave them Broadway girls alone.